Trigger warning. This video contains adult content. If cussing, talks of violence, overdose, death, if that offends you, you may not want to watch this video. You may want to scroll on to the next one because this definitely contains some or all of them topics. So please move on to the next video if it's going to offend you. YouTube, please don't strike, restrict, or remove my content as for educational purposes only. My team, my crew, I gotta find a name for you guys. But anyways, these videos are gonna get better when I get monetized. As money comes in, I can sink more money into the channel. Right now, I pay for everything out of my pocket and I'm a poor guy. So I'm doing what I can to give you guys, turn out the best content for you. Um, Plus, I'm learning. I just started in this, so I'll definitely get a lot better as I go. Uh, Anyhow, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for viewing, commenting, liking, subscribing. Don't forget about the giveaway. It's coming. 1,000 subscribers, $100 giveaway. If you're not subscribed, you might want to do so. If not, that's fine too. Thank you for watching this. Uh, I love you guys. Let's get to the video. Hey everybody, how you doing? We're back again. We're going to finish this second part of the old biography, and the way it looks, when I done this second part, it looks like we're going to have a third and probably a fourth. So, guys, it's been a long, crazy life. That's all I can say. I hope you stick around and listen to my story. It's very interesting, or I think so. Anyways, I might be a little biased, but hey, I think it's pretty interesting life compared to such. So we left off. We left off where me and my little brother had stole, or my little stepbrother had stole 1980, I don't know, 86 Monte Carlo Super Sport or so, and about the same, a third gen Camaro. It wasn't an IROC or nothing. It did have a V8 in it, it had a 305 in it, but it wasn't it was just a Z28. It wasn't the IROC, just a regular old Z28. And we was out running around in them, racing each other and just goofing off. And we was in an alley, and I remember uh, he was in front of me. I was in the Camaro and he was in the Monte Carlo, and he was in front of me, and I brake torqued the Camaro, and I don't remember exactly what happened. Somehow I ended up hitting him in the ass end. I remember I slammed him right in the ass, and it's the whole Camaro nose in. I mean, it mangled it. And I had to leave it sitting. I couldn't do nothing, so I just left it sitting in the middle of the alley and got in the car with him. And we went. Actually, what we was doing, we was out running around that night. We was trying to find cars that people had that had stereo systems or wheels or that type of shit in it. And lo and behold, we found one. We found one. After that wreck, we found one. It was in the South End where we was from. Dummies, you don't never poop in your own backyard. Uh, but it was in the South End where we was from. And the guy that owned it at the time, I ended up, later on in life, I ended up really cool with him. He knew. I told him that it was us that it happened. He was known around the neighborhood anyways. He had this, I don't know, it was a late 80s model Blazer, two-door Blazer. It was lowered and had a custom paint, custom wheels, custom stereo. And we attempted to rob the stereo equipment out of it. Um, my little brother was in the Blazer trying to get the speaker box up over the seats and trying to get it out the driver's side door. Well, he got it flipped up over the seat and it fell on the horn and, fell on the steering wheel and the horn going on. And the neighbors heard it. And I'm talking, this is probably 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, somewhere around there. So the neighbors get up and they call the cops. When this happens, I tell my little brother, I start motioning, come on, just leave it. Come on, let's go. Finally, he gets out and runs up and jumps back in the car, and we pull off. I'm driving this time, and we're still in the Monte Carlo Super Sport. So I'm parked in front of the Blazer like this. This is me, this is the Blazer. Well, I tell my little brother, come on, and we pull out onto the road, and as soon as we pull out, here comes a cop right around the corner. And he turns, he's right behind us. I see him. Here he comes right up behind us. And I'm driving and I turn the corner, turn right. And what do? I turn right and don't use no turning signal. What does he do? He flips on his red and blue lights. Tries to pull me over. Well, nope, not tonight. It ain't happening. Officer, I'm not stopping. So what do? Oh, smash the gas, boy. And that's when the high-speed chase starts. Well, we ended up, the chase lasted probably, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. Running around the south end, this street, that street, the alley, back on this street, over here on this street, around this corner, up and down this alley. This cat and mouse all over the south end, and it lasted probably 20 minutes. And we ended up in the middle of a big old muddy field in front of the elementary school that I went to, Lincoln Park Elementary School. It had this gigantic field out in front of it. That never was used for nothing. They didn't let the kids go out there and play. I mean, they kept it mowed and everything. It looked nice. Not when we was done it then, but anyways, we end up in this field. There's an alley that runs. The school sets way back off of the street Marcus, and that's where the street I ended up living on after my mom burnt the house I was talking about. I said I lived right down the street from the school. So you come down Marcus, and it was a one-way westbound. And you come down Marcus and you would turn left into the school's driveway. And the school sat way back off the road. So there's an alley between Marcus and the school, and it was about 2 blocks long, 2 city blocks long. And we ended up in that alley coming down, and at the end of the alley where the school driveway was, it kind of came uphill. It had a little uphill to it. You come up that hill and come to a little... there's a little hill, and you come to a stop sign, and then you turn left and go to the school, or turn right, and you could go right out and hit Marcus and take off. Well, when we come down through there, we didn't stop. We hit that little incline, and we went airborne, and landed out in that field. And when we did, it had been raining at least all day that day, but I'd say a couple days it probably had been raining off and on. That field wasn't nothing but soft slop. And the cop come right behind me. I mean, he wasn't stopping. He come in after me. We ended up in the field in the mud. Them cars were just spinning around and spinning around. And I don't know, somehow that Monte Carlo, I don't know if there was under the dirt, down in the dirt, there was a big rock or a brick or what, but that thing caught traction and it took off. It shot like a rocket. And when it did, the cop car was right in front of me. Bam! I smacked the cop car. So, actually, it was more like this. This was the cop car and this was me. Bam! I hit the cop car like that. My passenger side over here was on the cop car's driver's side. This is the cop car driver's side. This is our car passenger side. I hit him. My little brother jumps out and the cop jumps out. And they're right here side by side. Well, my little brother, somehow he gets away. I'm on... Here's the cars. I'm on the driver's side. The cop's right here. He gets out, and I don't know if he jumps over the cars or what. He must have went the opposite way coming after me. My little brother went this way. Anyways, he threw his mag light, man, and he smacked me in the leg and knocked me down. I hit the dirt. I fell, and he was on me like white on rice. like flies on shit, Jackson, I'll tell you. And he pulled his pistol out and he had it stuck behind my ear. Man, he had that thing pressed in my head so hard, I had a little round bruise from his barrel behind my ear for 3 weeks probably. And when he threw that flashlight, it hit me in the leg. It dropped me like a sack of potatoes. It dropped me. I didn't take another step. Them old big old mag lights, 2 foot long, full of D batteries, 4, 5, 6 D batteries in that thing, man. And it's metal. It hurt. It hurt, I tell you. After all that, they arrest me, and I went to jail. I went to Juvenile. Oh, I'm out of frame here. I'm sorry, guys. Let me turn this camera just a little bit. How is that? I was trying to keep this light right here. I was trying to keep that out of it. But anyways, it gives me more room instead of being off to the side of the frame. Anyhow, I go to Juvenile, and I figure I'm gonna go home when I go to court. I got this licked. It ain't no big deal. I'll go to court in a couple of days. I'll get out and go home. Well, I go to court in a couple of days, and my mom was sure to be there, and she was sure to tell that it's a magistrate for Juvenile. It's like a judge. She was sure to tell that magistrate to keep my ass. She got up and walked out of the courtroom. You got to be released to somebody as a juvenile, your parent or guardian. And she told that magistrate, when the magistrate asked if my parent or guardian was there, my mom stood up. She said, "Yeah, I'm his mother." She said, "And you can just keep him." And she walked out of the courtroom, left me. So I didn't get to go home that day. And that broke my heart. I'll never forget that. And they held me for 2 weeks. Hold for trial. Pow! He hit his little gavel. So I'm in there for 2 weeks, man. I get into a couple fights and get locked up in my cell, and cell isolation, I think is what they called it back then. Shit, that was, man, 30 years ago. So she walks out of the courtroom, and they hold me till my next court date. And she was there on my second court date, and she wasn't as upset. I guess she must have calmed down a little bit. But she let them release me to her custody and took me home and stuff. And life kind of went on after that. Got put on probation. But when I got released, I go home, and I met my first baby's mom. Her name was Melissa. Rest in peace, Melissa. I met her and got her pregnant, and she had my son. My mom moved us to Mount Vernon, Ohio. Melissa got pregnant. I stayed with her for a little bit. Then my mom ended up moving us to Mount Vernon, Ohio, and that was before Melissa had gave birth to my son. So I wasn't involved in my son's birth, but right after, I ended up getting a hold of Melissa, and I moved her to Mount Vernon. Her and Joey moved up there with me and my mom and my family. So we was up there for a little while, and Mom was working 2 full-time jobs, trying to pull the ends together because she had married Big Bud, and he decided he was a truck driver. He decided he was going to lay in Columbus with my aunt, my mom's sister, and smoke crack and drink beer all the time, and not do what he's supposed to do, pay bills and all the adult stuff that you're supposed to do, but you choose not to do when you're an addict. Been there and done it. So anyways, back then I didn't understand it. I was a kid, and I got mad at him because Christmas he was in Columbus partying, and he should have been at home, which we still had a Christmas, but I seen the pain in my mom's eyes. I seen what it done to her. So I got mad, and when we did come to Columbus, I found his semi, and I tore his semi all to shit, and I threw center blocks and knocked holes in it and all kinds of stuff. Well, we ended up, as a result of that, Big Bub being out drinking and partying, not helping mom, her working 2 jobs, trying to hold ends together. She ended up not being able to do it. She ended up losing the house. It went into foreclosure and moved us back to Columbus. We lived out there for, I don't know, probably a year, a little over a year. So we ended up moving back to Columbus, and me and Melissa ended up splitting up. And by then, I don't know, my son's probably, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years old when me and Melissa split up. And I'm out running the streets and going on ripping and running, and I ended up meeting my second kid's mom. Her name was Chastity. Rest in peace, Chastity. I met her, and I guess you could say, I don't know, I was running around trying to work a little bit here and there, and doing what I could. By then, I think, I don't know, maybe I was 17 or so by then, and I had a son, and running the streets, and been involved with her off and on. Chastity, been involved with Chastity off and on through all of it, and ended up making it on until I was about 18 or so. And then right after my 18th birthday, I turned 18 in October of '98. In November, I ended up caught my first felony. So me and my buddy, lifelong friend, we get the wild idea that we're going to go to Bell Fountain, Ohio, and steal a car for my older brother. He's deceased too. Rest in peace, Bub. He's the one that we got the same dad, different moms. We decided we're going to go steal this Monte Carlo for him and change the VIN number on it. And I don't know, I guess you just try to do it to, I don't know, impress your brother or help your brother out, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. You want to look good for your brother, your older brother. But we go out there and we steal this car, we get away, and we're on our way back to Columbus. It's a straight shot out 33 west of Bell Fountain. I don't know, probably about 50 minutes away, 60 miles or so. And we get the car, and we're in Bell Fountain. I'm driving. I'm the one that peeled it, and we're driving through Bell Fountain, make it back to 33, and my buddy's begging me to drive. That's all he keeps asking me. Let me drive. Let me drive. Can I please drive? Let me drive. Let me drive. So I get tired of hearing it, and I pulled over. I turned on at 33. I pulled over right there on the ramp. I said, "Here, you drive." I got out and walked around the car, switching seats. As soon as he took off from that ramp, he put that car in gear and he matted it straight to the floor. Wow, spinning, throwing gravel everywhere. I knew we was going to jail. I just knew we was. I told him, like, D, you better slow down, buddy. We're not in your Monte Carlo Super Sport, buddy. We're in a borrowed one. Well, we hit 33 and he's got that car matted. And then we make it, I don't know, not very far, a couple miles, and we're going eastbound on 33, headed back to Columbus. Bell Fountain's west of Columbus, so we're eastbound, headed back to Columbus, and the state trooper passes it going the other way. We're doing it probably, I know we're doing every bit of 85 mile an hour. I turn around and look, I see his brake lights. He's hitting the median, turning around, coming back. So I told DJ, buddy, we're pulled over, here he comes. And I remember D said, "We're going out with a bang." Buddy, did we. He ran that car's guts out. I mean, he held it to the floor all the way back to Columbus into Dublin. And we come into Dublin on 33, and we made it. 33 turns into 161 in Dublin. So we're on 161, and we make it to 315, and he hits 315 south. But right there before 315 on 161, there's a set of railroad tracks. And he hit them railroad tracks and went airborne. And when he did that, tore the transmission out of the car. So we made it a little bit further down and on the 315 south, and the car quit pulling. Wow, it wasn't going nowhere. Mad, and we was doing, coasting 15 miles an hour, and he had it to the floor. So he lets the car coast to a stop. Before it even got to a stop, I bailed out of it with my hands in the air because I knew what was going to happen. We was going to get the shit beat out of us if I didn't. If I let them get me out of the car, I was getting my ass whooped. So I wasn't doing that. We had every jurisdiction from Logan County to Franklin County chasing us. We had Logan County sheriffs, Union County sheriffs, Franklin County sheriffs, State Highway Patrol, Columbus Police. I mean, and you name them, they was all involved in chasing us. And they got us there on 315. I can't remember what road we was under. We made it right under the bridge. Bethel Road, 315 on Bethel Road. That's where it was. We made it right under Bethel Road on 315. And they got us, arrested us, took us to Union County this time. And we're in a little holding cell. End up going to court and get out by bail out or whatever. And go home. Every time we went to court, we got arrested because the county that we was going to court in would dismiss the charges and the next county would pick them up. Well, we ended up in jail in Logan County finally, and it was on Thanksgiving. So we sat in there through Thanksgiving before we get to go to court and get out. And ended up on, I pled guilty. I don't remember what I pled guilty to, what charges it was, but I ended up on a program called Diversion, where if you complete the diversion program, the felony don't show up on your record. They expunge it and seal your record. So I completed the program, got my record expunged and sealed, and was good to go after that. I made it until, I can't remember exactly what year. 2003, I believe. I was 22 years old. I caught my next case, and it was a big one. A couple big felonies for a shooting. I got a couple big felonies for a shooting. Drive-by shooting is what they called it, but it wasn't a drive-by. It was a drive-up, block him in, shoot him, and go. I guess if you want to call that a drive-by, that's what it was. So, anyways, my brother, this story kind of pertains to my brother. My brother's involved in it. I'm a recovering addict, nothing to hide. We all sold drugs at the time. I guess that goes with it. That's where it all started at. We were selling a little bit of cocaine, marijuana, some pills, and we had a lifelong friend. His name was Vaughn, and he was running with my brother all the time. My brother was taking care of him. Basically, he was my brother's little road dog, is what you'd call him. And my brother decides one night he's going to go get him some strange. Locks the house up, takes off. Nobody even knows he's gone, what he's doing, but Vaughn. Vaughn's the only one that knows. And while he's gone, somebody robs him. He comes home to find out somebody's broken his house. Well, through playing hood detective, we figure out Vaughn's the one that done it. We had a good idea anyways, but we wanted to get all of our ducks in a row and make sure before we said anything or done anything. So we put it all together. Vaughn's the one that done it. We was at the racetrack one night, and after the races, we're hanging out in the pits. I pulled my car in the pits. I had a old bubble style Caprice, like the cop car style Caprices, the bubble ones. I can't remember, maybe a 92, 93, like an Impala. That's what it was. And I had 20s on it, and TVs and stuff in it. And my buddy's girlfriend's daughter was in the car watching TV after races, watching cartoons, and she fell asleep. Well, we was all going back to my brother's house to drink some beer after the races, so I told them, you can just leave your baby in the car and she can ride over the sounds with me. Ain't no sense in waking her up. So they leave her in the car, and I'm on my way home, and I hit the drive-through to get a case of beer. And lo and behold, there's Vaughn right in front of me when I pull in. So I throw my car in park, jump out. I got a little 380 in my back pocket, but remember that baby's in my back seat, so I'm not trying to get into no shootout. Uh, well, when I approached his car, he must have seen me coming in the mirror, and he kind of, ducked back in the seat. I was just going to grab him through the window and punch on him a few times, or, pull him out, whatever. Whatever. I was going to whoop his ass, however it ended up. But plans didn't go like that. He laid back over in the seat. When I stepped up, he pulled a gun up on me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you got me now. I'm the bitch. You're right. Because I didn't want to, try to back up and get a gun out and start shooting, which I could have. I had every right. But once again, the baby was in the back seat. So Vaughn pulls out of the drive-through, squeals out of there and gets out of his car. And I'm walking back to the car, and I'm like turned around now, about to get in the door and sit down. Here he comes through the door of the drive-through with the gun running his mouth, and the owner's already upset because I done that. He's yelling at me in Arabic, and I get in my car to pull, getting in to pull up. Here comes Vaughn through the door, and I told him, I was like, you got me now, bitch, but you better kill me. You better in his mouth, went back outside, got in his car, and took off. The guy ended up giving me the case of beer. He told me, go, never come back. So I go on to Sean's, and I go tell Sean what happened. We're drinking. A few hours pass. We're all buzzing now. I mean, we started at the racetrack, so we was already buzzing when we left the racetrack. We're fucked up now. We're beyond buzzing. And we all decide going to jump in this stolen truck and stolen Blazer and go hunt him down. And that was the thing back then. Blazers, Camaros, and Monte Carlos, Regals, Cutlasses, G-Bodies, and Blazers, and Camaros. That was what we stole. We all decide we're going to go hunt him down and light his ass up. So we take off with a couple 9mm, 40 caliber, 45, a Mac 90. We're all packed in this Blazer. Go hunt him down, shoot him. The cops, it said in my discovery that the cops found, I know it was at least 60 some spent rounds. And that ain't counting what was still in the Blazer that didn't make it out of the window. And I don't know who's more lucky, me or him, because he lived and I didn't go to jail. So, well, I guess we're both lucky. I didn't know who was more lucky though. Anyways, later on down the road, we go to court for it. They press charges or whatever. We go to court, and he gets on the stand, tells them that he don't remember what happened. It cost a bunch of money. But he went on the stand, told him he didn't know what happened. No case. Prosecutor couldn't prosecute us, so they had to dismiss it for a poly, I can't remember what it's called, a poly something. And what that means is this, he can come back within 5 years. If he remembers what happened, within 5 years he can come back and tell them, and they can reopen the case against us. Well, he sends word to the neighborhood that tries to extort us. If we don't get him some more money, he's going to remember what happened. Well, wasn't giving him no more money. Later on, they ended up finding him dead on his girlfriend's back porch and said that it was suicide. So, I don't know. Anyways, the case never was reopened again. He ended up dying. So from there, man, long life, long crazy life. Vaughn got hit in the leg, blew his leg off, hit in the ass, blew his leg off. And then later on, I wake up to a felony warrant and get a hold of my attorney, and my attorney tells me to get my ass out of town and stay out of the way until he can get me in to take a polygraph. So I go to Dayton, stay in a motel for, I don't know, 5-6 days. Finally, he gets me in for the polygraph, so I gotta leave Dayton, go all the way to Akron, take the polygraph, and then come back to Franklin County to Columbus and turn myself in. So that's what I do. I do what my attorney tells me to do. Come back, turn myself in, go to court the following day for bond. The prosecutor tried to make me out to be a monster and the ringleader. So they set my bond at $100,000, and my brother posted my bond. Got me out waiting my preliminary hearing, and about 10 days later or so, I had my preliminary hearing, and they moved to dismiss my charges for a future indictment. So that was a wasted $10,000. I could have sat in jail for that 7 to 10 days, and they threw it out, and they had to let me out because they dismissed it for a future indictment. About 3 weeks later, that indictment came back, and I'm back in court for another bond hearing. Somehow, on felony 2 felonious assault with a gun specification and a drive-by shooting specification. So, or maybe it was 2 felonious assaults. That's what it was. It was a felonious assault with a gun specification and a felonious assault with a drive-by shooting specification. That's what it was. And my attorney gets me OR bond on that. How, I don't know. But if you want to know, stick around, because it's to be continued. That's our second part, people. Stick around for the third part. And I mean, it gets a little more interesting. Just a teaser here. The next part is when I go to prison. So that's when you'll hear some prison stories. If you want to hear them, and you know the things that happened that led me there, I got some really good prison stories that's really interesting, captivating. It should, if you like hearing prison stories, it'll have your jaw on the floor. I mean, I've seen people in there get smashed in the head with locker boxes and beat with locks and socks and stabbed and all kinds of stuff. So if you want to hear that, stick around. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Click the like down there for me. Shoot me a comment. Tell me what you think. This stuff helps in the algorithm. It'll help keep it in the algorithm so somebody else can see the video. So I greatly appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe so you get the next part. And the first part's already on there. Go back and watch that. Part 1. Raw Emotion Biography, Part 1. Go check it out. And this one here will make more sense. Watch it, and then maybe come back and watch this one, and you'll be able to put it all together. So, if you haven't watched that one yet, and my whole story will make sense. But anyhow, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. The ones that's been watching, thank you. Also, don't forget the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe. And you got to comment. Let's see, what am I going to have you put in the comments? And you got to comment on every video that you watch, the same comment. That's how the giveaway is going to go. So if you didn't watch this video and you don't know how to do this, you're not going to win. So you guys better keep watching these videos, because it might change. So watch the videos and stay tuned, because I want you to comment on every video that you watch. At least put a comment that says, enter me to win 1,000 subs. Enter me to win 1,000 subs. That's what you got to put on every video. And I'm going to go through personally myself, and I'm going to count every video that you commented on. And whoever commented that on the most videos, That's who's going to win this 100 or 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Whoever comments on the most videos, enter me to win 1,000 sub giveaway. Whoever comments that the most on the videos, enter me to win 1,000 sub giveaway. If I see that, whoever's name comments that the most on each videos, listen to me. Whoever comments that the most on each video is gonna win the giveaway. $100 giveaway, folks, at the $1,000 subscriber mark. So be sure to get subscribed. Also, you'll catch the rest of the content coming out. There's going to be, I know, 2 more parts to this biography for sure. It's just too long. So I appreciate you folks watching, and I'll see you on my next trip around the sun. I love you all.